Hello, how are you? Happy Friday Eve. It is Friday Eve. This week went by very quickly, and I hope it did for you too. So we are talking about something very realistic. Okay, nobody wants to meet you. Okay, in business. So why am I talking about this and being so blunt? Because that was the first thing I told my client today. I said, let's just start this day off right and understand that nobody wants to meet you. Okay? Nobody wants to spend time with you. Nobody wants to learn about your business. Nobody wants to collaborate. Now, I'm being very broad, right? I'm saying nobody. So I get that there are people like me that do want to meet you if there is a vested interest or if you're going to provide value for me. I feel like I talk so much about providing value that I'm almost sick of hearing myself talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit again, but I wanted to give you some tips of how to score that meeting. I know I've mentioned it before. I absolutely love Never Eat Alone, the book by Keith Ferrazzi. Should totally be getting some royalties by now. He should totally hit me up. I should totally be on tour with him. But that's not going to happen. Not today anyway. Maybe in the future. But I got to say, you know, managing the gatekeeper isn't very easy, and it's an art, and you have to plan around knowing that nobody wants to meet you. Okay, so my strategy goes a little something like this. For many of my clients, I set up these meetings with collaborative partners that can potentially turn into really good referral partners in your community. So this is like way old school for me. I've been doing this since I was managing New York Medical back in the day. And it worked then, and it still works today. So the process is long, right? I think, you know, if I were to put this strategy into, say, a proposal, you could potentially laugh at me. But this is my process, okay, for scoring the meetings. So the first thing that I do is I research online about the company. And then I research some more to find the person that I need to meet with. And that is typically the CEO, the founder, the doctor, or the business development manager, or the marketing person. So it depends on the client. Today, my goal was to meet with as many business development managers that I could within these practices that I was targeting for my client. So out of the 13 that I had on my list, I scored because I am keeping score, 3 meetings. That's not bad. Might not sound great to you, but trust me when I tell you, it's not bad. And I've already scored another one since I got home because I'm constantly following up with emails after I leave messages because I will stalk you, but it'll be in such a friendly way. You won't even know I'm stalking you. All right, so after I research and I get all the information that I need, I write a script. That's right, that's what I do. So if I called these places to try to set up a meeting for my client and I said, hi, this is Sharon, founder of the Dr. Whisperer. I would like for you to meet my client, Dr. Shish Kebab, right? That's not gonna fly. So what I do is I say something like, I am the business development manager for Dr. Shish Kebab. Obviously that is a fake name. And I need to set up a meeting, right? So I write that in my script before I call them. And then I write some highlights and I try to figure out before I even write the script, like what is really gonna get somebody to say yes to the meeting? Well, here's a few things that I would say yes to. I would say yes if it was going to bring me value, okay? So if you were thoughtful about my business and you understood my business and you wanted to see how you could help me, I would meet you. That's a no-brainer. I would meet you. But if you want something from me, I'm going to think through that a little bit, because most people just want something from you. So my strategy with this meeting, well, the meetings that I set up was, we want to meet with collaborative partners in the community where we can be a resource to each other and hopefully a really lucrative referral partner relationship. And because I put it that way, I got the meetings. So, but that's a lot of work. So in my script, I read it out loud. I cut it down. I go, okay, I'm never going to say all that. It's too much information. I hit them with as many things that are going to make them say yes, hopefully. And of course, I'm always super friendly. And if there's something relatable I can talk about that has nothing to do with business, it could be the way they answer the phone. For example, one of these meetings I was able to score today, the only reason I was able to score it was because the person was from New York. And I could hear his very, very strong accent. So as soon as I realized he was a fellow New Yorker, I talked about New York. And then guess what happened? I got the meeting. And it wasn't with him. It was his manager, because he was in New York and she was here in Florida. So that was really great. And both meetings that we had today, we have another one scheduled for next week. Well, a few more for next week, but went really, really well, because after I speak to them, I follow up with an email. And in the email, it discusses my client, and in the hopes that they go to their website and they look them up, because I've already looked them up, so I can speak of them, right? I can talk about them and provide them with, not flirting. What's the word I'm looking for? Complimenting them. Just telling them what a great business they are, and I've heard of you before, and I've had a friend that's come here before. Something that's relatable, something that's going to start a friendly conversation. My next tactic is the timing of the meeting. I always make sure to say something like, can I have 7 minutes of your time? 7. I like the number 7 for a meeting. Because I know technically it's never going to be 7 minutes. By the time I say hello and walk in the door and chat about whatever it is I want to chat about, 7 minutes is up. For these meetings, I said 15 minutes because I was bringing a client and I wanted to make sure I at least got 15 minutes, or she would have been upset with me, right? But that 15-minute meeting turned into like an hour and 15 minutes, and we get to meet other staff members, and the owner walked in at the end. Kaboom! So super, super helpful if you have a strategy before you try to set up these meetings, right? It's just important. And I always give options. I give options of a few dates and a few different times. You really, really have to think about the other person when you're managing this gatekeeper, when you're trying to get that appointment. And because of that, we had some great meetings today. And then I am happy the day's over, because it's a lot of work. Like, you got to commit, business development is difficult because it's follow-up. So now we had these meetings, but now I have to follow up and thank them for the meeting. I told one of them I was going to introduce them to a doctor that I knew that I think would be a great referral source for them. I have to follow up with that, because that's just the right thing to do. And guess what? When you do the right thing happens. So that's my tips for tonight. I hope you have some strategies the next time you're going to try to land a meeting. And always remember to give value to somebody else. It's not about you, remember? They don't want to meet you. By the end, they'll be dying to see you again. Okay, bye. Have a good night.